So let's start with our our tried and true starting a fire in the fireplace. Tell me a little bit about. I feel that is probably the most conventional. A lot of people that they like sitting around the fire. It's nice and cozy. But what are some? Let's talk a little bit about some safety stuff. What do they need to be looking out for? What do they need to do? What do they need to not do?
Well, as you just said, a lot of people leave their fireplaces dormant for 9-10 months on average. Here in San Angelo, we could end up like this year not having a very cold winter, and then when we do, in the 13th month later, here we are, putting our fireplaces on for the first time. So a lot of people don't do routine maintenance on their fireplace, so they're not using any type of creosote log cleaners, anything like that. Creosote, when you hear that term, you want to think of tar. It's a byproduct of pyrolysis or combustion. Builds up inside the chimney flue, and then as it builds up, it can start to get knocked off and come down. So it's really important that that get cleaned out the proper way so that you don't get a fire that results from that at some point in time.
How often? I mean, is that something we need to be doing?
I don't think you need to
year?
necessarily do it on an annual basis, but I would say every 3 to 5 years, that's a good practice.
Okay.
And sometimes, it does cost money to get a chimney sweep out to get them to do that. I think the more often you do it, the safer you're going to be. If you use your fireplace fairly often during winter, then I think absolutely an annual clean out and check and cleaning is the way to go. We've seen fireplaces that maybe a homeowner built with a kit, probably didn't do it correctly, so the flue's not always connected to the top of the box is not properly sealed or insulated, or when you get up into the fireplace, the bricks around has got loose mortar in it, that flue's not connected right, so you start getting smoke into the air plenum inside the box, getting into your attic, which can cause fires. We've also seen people. We saw someone several years ago drill a hole in the back of their house into the fireplace and try to connect their grill into the fireplace to vent out the grill so they could be cooking undercover. That sounds great, but then what they did is that grease and hot air got in there and knocked that creosote down, caused a house fire.
Wow.
So the cleaning and maintenance is really important. Also important is to have a mesh screen or a tempered glass screen so you don't get any embers flying off, and then on the top of that chimney, make sure you have a spark arrestor, something to catch embers flying away, and that type of thing, and keep it closed, but keep it clean. Some people will start their fireplaces and they won't open the flue up, so then all of a sudden they get a backlash of fire into the chimney hearth area, and it starts to catch that area on fire. Then they can't reach in there to shut the chimney flue. So you want to check your flues. You want to make sure that the levers work, the boxes are clean, that they're sealed properly. There are materials out there. There's fire-rated caulking that you can use. There's some just for fireplaces to fix cracks in the box, to fix your brick mortar surround. But if you have somebody come and check it on a regular routine basis, that's the way to go.
Okay. And I mean, obviously making the fire, I mean, we don't want stuff around, people got stuff up on their hearths, and people, decorations maybe up on, I mean, we want to keep that area pretty clear too, I would imagine.
You want to keep that area clear, and the only thing you really want to burn is what we call seasoned wood. That's just a fancy term for dried out wood. Unseasoned wood, when you start it up, it's going to take a while because it's going to try to get all the water out of the wood cells, if you would, before it can start taking off. So it'll take a lot of time, and then in the meantime, you're going to get a lot of copious amounts of smoke.
Gotcha.
So we don't want to do that. We don't want to put anything else in there. Trash, paper, 2x4s. We get a lot of calls for illegal burns around town, and people are burning building materials. That's actually an offense. It's a violation of some of our quality rules through the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. So why would we do that in a house? So even an untreated 2x4 still has some chemical basis to it. It can release a lot of bad toxins in your house. So if it doesn't cause a fire, it can prematurely release some gases that can cause you a lot of problems.